Hi guys, welcome to my 100th YouTube video. So in this video we're going to be talking about why this new iPad Air from 2020 is absolute garbage and don't buy it because the iPad Pro is way better.
Pro from 2021 with the M1 processor.
So I'm just going to go to the comparison.
Comparing both of them in the 11-inch option. So the iPad Pro you have 11 or 12.9 and for the other one it's just 10.9, which we're going to talk more about that after. So here we are.
The iPad Pro is $150 more expensive if you get both of them 256 gigabytes, which I would go for if you had the iPad Air, because the iPad Air, when it comes to storage, is absolute garbage. So there's 20 advantages of the iPad Pro over the iPad Air, and the iPad Air only has 2 pros. And one of the 19 things the iPad Pro is better is the screens. The screen is like day and night.
One main reason why people buy the iPhone 13 Pro over the iPhone 13 is because of that 120 Hz refresh rate. One little part of the screen. And there's much more difference. And also the price difference is smaller. So why would you even consider the iPad Air?
Then let's go to screens. So first of all, the screen is bigger. So this is 11-inch and the body is the same size, but you get 0.1-inch smaller screen. And you get a lower resolution screen. And you get a dimmer screen. So I had this one here. It's not this one here, but the iPad 11-inch from the second generation one from 2020. And this 600 nits maximum brightness, I got a few times I couldn't see anything on the screen because it was too dim. How can I survive with this? This is like a suicide plan for me going this. This is too dim. Way too dim. How can they do this in 2022? Direct sunlight, this is challenged. This, you won't be able to see anything. Next is ProMotion technology. So even the old iPad Pro from 2018 destroys the iPad Air. ProMotion technology is basically 120 Hz. So as I said, storage-wise, storage options are absolute garbage. So we go to storage, so it starts at 64 gigabytes. They put that just so they can put the $599 price tag, but you can't. How do you survive with that much storage? My apps already takes out like 30 gigs almost. So you have to go for the 256. And there's nothing in between, as the iPad Pro has way better storage options. So you can go from 128, which is I think
Almost
to go, or if you want more, you always have the option to go to terabytes. This one here. Why would you go for this unless you want to save, unless you want to get that price tag? And this one here, and if you want more, you can't get it. So stupid. And also this one here, I think it's with the 1 terabyte and 2 terabyte, you get more RAM. So the RAM here are normally 8 gigabytes, but we can get those two options. You get 16 gigabytes of RAM, which is quite good for an iPad.
So now let's talk about Face ID versus Touch ID.
So Face ID versus Touch ID.
Battery size is the same, and you get all the screen time and the bigger screen, which takes more battery. So assuming the battery is it's gonna be thicker, but in fact, the iPad Pro is 2 millimeters thinner, which is so cool. So that itself already spent more than $150 at Apple prices. So now moving on to cameras.
So to visualize, they both share the same 12 megapixel wide camera, and they both share a microphone. But even the old iPad Pro, this is the one I have, has an extra 10 megapixel ultra wide and a LiDAR sensor and a flash. This one doesn't have a flash. The iPad mini has a flash. This doesn't even have a flash. That's a complete joke.
On top of that,
yeah, you get 2x optical zoom on the Pro. You don't get any of that. So you don't get true depth, so you don't have the true depth camera, so you don't get the portrait modes on the iPad Pro Air. You don't get those functions. And then going back to the back cameras, you don't get audio zoom, you don't get stereo speaker recording. Even the old iPad Pro has that stuff. And also emoji and memoji doesn't work because they don't have the true depth camera. Okay, the front cameras are the same. And you don't get Thunderbolt. You don't just get plain USB-C. We talked about stereo recording. Now let's talk about the speakers. So the iPad Pro, even the iPad Pro from 2017 has 4 stereo speakers. And this one here only has 2. That's half the amount of speakers. They have only 2 speakers. These Pros have 4 speakers. And you can get, and if you're just watching movies most of the time, I would recommend going for the iPad Pro from 2018 or 2020. You get better stuff. The only thing you missed with these ones is the M1.
So what are the advantages of the iPad Air, the new one?
Well, first advantage is the colors. Okay, you get 5 colors, 5 gorgeous colors, that's what they say. But here you get the Pro color, so that's space gray and silver. These are the pro. If you want to match with your MacBook Pro, you can match it. Whereas this one here you can't, because they don't have silver. They have space, and you also get the Pro name. Also, like, if there were two iPads, the same price, same everything. One was called iPad Pro, and one is called iPad Air. Which one do you go for? I assume the iPad Pro, huh? Because the Pro sounds more better.
And actually the same Apple Pencil and the same Magic Keyboard, but the other advantage of the iPad Air is the cheaper price. If you really want to save money, you can buy the old iPad Pros. They'll be even cheaper on discount and all that stuff. In conclusion, I would just go for the iPad Pro from 2021. That one is good overall. Had good performance, good screen, good everything. It's very expensive, but it's good. But if you don't really care about the performance and you have a Mac, I would just go, and you want a good overall iPad, so good cameras and the rest all good stuff, then just go for the 2020 iPad Pro. Or if you're just watching movies, then just go for the older iPad Pros, like 2018. Or I won't go so far. 2018 is quite good. I have one and I really like it. It has a good design and everything. So another thing is, before you just leave this page, please just click that subscribe button. 99.9% of you guys are not subscribed, and so please just subscribe. It doesn't hurt so much for you on your side, but it means a lot to me. And just down there, that little red button, all you gotta do is just click it, and you're done. Thank you. Bye.